This is the fourth event I've done with Dr. Joe, and I want to share what I experienced in my progressive. So the first event, I grew up with alcoholic parents, and my father was very abusive, and one of the reoccurring patterns in our family's dynamic was that he would blow up and then ask for everybody's in the families for their forgiveness. And so what I learned at an early age is that forgiveness is just words. There's no emotion there, you stuff it. And so throughout my life, forgiveness was impossible for me. I would hold grudges. I would self-righteously feel that they done me wrong, and therefore I'm going to hold on to this. So I have 3 daughters. My youngest, at the age of 13, was sexually assaulted by my father in our home. And my first reaction was I wanted to drive a kitchen knife right into his heart. And she did all the right things. She pushed them away. She ran downstairs. And so then his shame became my shame, because as a father, my sacred job is to protect my daughters. And so that was about 12 years ago. So 2 years ago, I went to Dr. Joe's Progressive in Norwalk. And it was on the first day, and Joe said, "Open your heart." And I was totally unprepared for what happened. I was so vulnerable, and I didn't know it. And just a flood of emotion came through me. And I was weeping and sobbing, and then and I didn't know what it was for, what was going on. And so I just stayed in it. I didn't resist it, and I was just like drained. And then it dawned on me that I needed to forgive. I needed to forgive my father. And up until then, it was just words. There was no emotion. And the realization came that the forgiveness was not for him. This forgiveness was for me. And when I realized that, then the business partner that done me wrong, and the Emerson Jones in 3rd grade who beat me up, and a whole string of people throughout my life, it was like, yep, forgive you, forget you, forgive you, no problem, I can forgive you. I just forgave my father, I can forgive you. And so it was such lightening of burden. It was just, I was more wave than particle. I was in that zone, and since then, working with my daughters and sharing this story with them, it made sense to them why I wasn't emotionally available to them. I wasn't emotionally available to them because I wasn't emotionally available to myself. I'm not that much different than most guys, and we don't, it's easier, it seems easier to bury the pain, to drive it deeper and not recognize it and not express it. Things like anger. My father was so violent that I learned to stuff it because I didn't want to hurt somebody. So that was what was modeled for me. And the interesting thing is, it takes way more energy to suppress feelings than to express them. Well, Dr. Joe created an environment. Dr. Joe can't fix everybody, but Dr. Joe can create an environment with his wonderful staff that people can do this. Everybody, it's realizing potential within us as energy in a body, that no matter the trauma, no matter how deep and how scarred we are, we can do this when somebody like Dr. Joe creates an environment that's safe and loving and supportive. Then we can progress.